When we think of the blueprint for the modern influencer, everyone instantly points to Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And we're definitely going to cover the Kardashian empire in future videos because they honestly absolutely perfected the formula. But they didn't invent it. We have to rewind to 2003. Before Instagram, before TikTok, before YouTube, there were two Beverly Hills heiresses standing in a dairy farm in Atlas, Arkansas, and asking one incredibly out-of-touch question.
I don't know.
What is Walmart? It's like they sell wall stuff?
No.
What is it?
It's like,
Today, we are turning back the clock to season 1 of The Simple Life.
where the hell are we?
We're going to look at how a reality television show about two rich girls failing at manual labor accidentally created the influencer economy. To really understand why The Simple Life was such a massive deal, we have to look at what the world actually was in 2003. There was no Twitter, no Instagram, no TikTok. You couldn't just do a dance trend in your bedroom. You had to be in the tabloids. And nobody ran the tabloids quite like Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. They were the reigning queens of the New York and LA club scenes, and they were famous for exactly two things: being incredibly wealthy and showing up to parties. At the time, television was still obsessed with traditional talent. You were a pop star, an actor, maybe even a comedian. But Paris and Nicole, they were something completely different. They were human brands. They had the style, the attitude, and the massive bank accounts. But they didn't have a platform to monetize it. Enter Fox Television. The network pitched a social experiment: take two of the most spoiled, out-of-touch girls in America, strip away their cell phones and credit cards, and drop them into a town in rural Arkansas. They would live with the Letting family, a hardworking, blue-collar household, for 30 days. It was designed to be a fish-out-of-water comedy. The audience was supposed to tune in, point at the rich girls, and laugh at how useless they were in the real world. And we did laugh. I vividly remember watching this live, and apparently a whole lot of other people did because it pulled in 13 million viewers. But what Fox didn't realize was that Paris and Nicole weren't just the punchline. They were completely in on the joke. Season 1 was only about 7 episodes long, but man, was it packed with some iconic, unhinged moments that most shows don't ever get. The premise was simple: Albert Letting, the host and the father of the family, would help them get jobs around town, and if they didn't work, they didn't get paid.
So we got the girls a job at our friend Danny's dairy farm. Gosh, I hope they do a good job.
Me too. Get water or something. Actually do it in the milk so it looks fuller.
The problem was, Paris and Nicole kind of had no intention of actually working.
Does it bother you if I work while y'all rest?
We've been working harder than all of you today.
But before we can get into the absolute chaos, if you're enjoying this trip back to the Y2K era,
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
hit that subscribe button. We are exploring 2000s pop culture, and you definitely won't want to miss what we're covering next. Let's get back to Arkansas. Instead of working, they essentially treated every single minimum wage job in Arkansas like their own personal playground. They worked at a dairy farm, where they spilled the milk and spent the whole time complaining about the smell. They worked at a taxidermist. Honestly, this one, I don't blame them. I couldn't handle it myself, where they completely destroyed the merchandise. But the absolute peak of season 1, the moment that solidified this show in my mind and in reality TV Hall of Fame, was the Sonic drive-thru. Paris and Nicole are hired to work at a local fast food restaurant, Sonic, and honestly, in my opinion, they were pretty good at the customer service aspect. They're very extroverted people, they're very charismatic.
I love that in a man.
Really?
I love a man who sweats.
I sweat a lot.
But they kind of famously did something. They changed the letters on the Sonic road sign to spell out something that was very inappropriate, but this is where the magic of the show really clicks. If you did this, if I did this, we would have been fired, maybe even arrested. But because the cameras were rolling, Paris and Nicole, they kind of generally had immunity. The townspeople of Atlas, they were so baffled by these two aliens from Beverly Hills that they didn't even know how to react. Some of them enjoyed it, some of them didn't like it, but they were definitely confused. But here is the real core reason why The Simple Life changed everything. It completely blurred the line between who a person is and the character they play, in this instance, on TV. In a traditional sitcom, the actor plays a character. But Paris and Nicole were playing highly exaggerated, curated versions of themselves. Nicole was the wild, rebellious instigator, hilarious, I might add, and she would do almost anything for a laugh. Paris played the sweet but ditzy heiress. However, if you know Paris and Nicole, and we're going to look at Paris specifically right now, you know they were really leaning into the character. Let's look at Paris's voice. If you watch some interviews of Paris Hilton, you'll sometimes see she has a relatively normal, deeper speaking voice. But on The Simple Life, and when she's out on the town and the paparazzi are talking to her, she would talk in this Paris Hilton baby voice.
Like 2 minutes. We're just gonna grab my sister.
Hey Paris, how are you?
Good.
It was breathy, high-pitched, and 100% completely calculated. And then there's the catchphrase.
Oh, that's hot.
She said it to everything. A tractor? That's hot. Milking a cow? That's hot. It wasn't a funny quirk, it was branding. Paris honestly went on, and I didn't know this until researching this, to trademark the phrase, that's hot. Now, does this sound familiar? A young creator developing a hyper-specific aesthetic, creating a signature catchphrase, leaning into a parasocial persona, and monetizing their lifestyle rather than having a traditional talent. That is the exact playbook of the modern influencer. Paris and Nicole realized that they didn't need to learn how to sing or act. They just needed to make sure people couldn't stop looking at them. And that's not saying that they're not talented individuals. That's just saying they are the smartest people in the room. They understood that attention is a currency. And by playing up the dumb blonde trope to the absolute extreme, they made themselves the most talked about women in America. The audience that thought they were laughing at Paris and Nicole, but Paris and Nicole were laughing all the way to the bank that they probably already owned. Now, MTV's The Osbournes had already proven a year earlier that following eccentric, wealthy people around with cameras was cheap but wildly profitable. But The Simple Life took that formula and weaponized it. They took two rich girls out of the mansion, dropped them into the wild, and gamified the culture shock. And The Simple Life walked so the modern influencer could run. But most importantly, it built the exact foundation that a certain famous family from Calabasas would use to take over the world 4 years later. But we'll get to them in another video. Season 1 of The Simple Life is a time capsule of a world right on the edge of the digital era. It's hilarious, it's completely unhinged, and looking back at it now, it's low-key, but maybe actually high-key genius. They went to Arkansas to learn the value of hard work, and instead, they taught the world how to get rich just by being yourself. Alright, that's going to do it for today's deep dive into The Simple Life, specifically Season 1. Did you watch this show back in the day live like I did? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.